And we're live now. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Ubuntu on Air. My name is Jose, and I'm an Ubuntu member broadcasting live from Peru. Welcome to our one of the Charm developer feedback sessions. Today we're here with George Castro, Antonio Rosales, Sebastian, and we're here with Alan. Can you please give us a quick intro about what you do in the community?
Okay, that was for me. Okay, so we work with Drupal. That is a technology brought in PHP. It's a CMS. So and we were to make our processes better. So we decided to implement the culture, the DevOps culture here at Thaler. So Juju was something like we discovered by thinking how could it be the best solution for us, and when we develop something near to Juju, we find Juju. So it was a natural thing to move to this to this to this software. So till then, we were working in the Drupal Charm. So we were putting all our experiences that we have in Drupal, enterprise experiences, and we are transferring all that into the Charm. So by that, we are using Juju at local as our dev local environment. So we are using Juju not only for deploying remotely. We are using also to our local environment.
Cool. So we also have George Castro and Antonio Rosales. They are both from the part of the Juju ecosystems team. And Antonio and George, I don't know if you can give us an intro or explain a little bit about what this is about, because this is the first session we're ever having about Charm developer feedback. So it's kind of a new thing.
Yeah, so Sebas has been around for a while asking questions, and we've talked back and forth. I am still working on getting you T-shirts to Brazil, but that's hard.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
Yeah, they might have to go through Germany and have a person carry them, but we'll get you guys. Yeah, so one thing that's been very important for us, especially now that the core teams have a dedicated guidance that we need to make Charm development better. We've been kind of tasked with gathering as much information as possible. And I've been doing a lot of that, being like, oh, well, this is what sucks for me when I do it and I write it down. But you guys are using it for real. You're not tainted by, having to work on it every day, so you can give us kind of real honest feedback that isn't biased in any way, because I have things that I personally think are more important than other things. But obviously you're using it every day, so it kind of lets us kind of step back, get your feedback, collate it, and then pass that on to the team so we can make it better. So what we did is we asked Seb to collate a document of all the things, some feedback from Charm development, and I'll make sure that we send along that link along with the video of all the things that we need to fix, or that could be better, or that are good or suck. And then we're going to go ahead and start fixing those things. So that's my spiel. Antonio, do you have a...
Just to reiterate what you were saying too, is we just want to, in the Juju project itself, we're out there. We have some ideas. We have some ideas how we think it should be working, but we actually want to see how folks are using it day to day. Just get more experience, and just in general, whoever's watching this to be able to, it's an open source project. We want to hear from folks who are using it, well, how we can make it better. I mean, that's just the fundamental things of trying to make our open source project better. Is reaching out to the folks regularly, touching base with the people in the community. Getting together once in a while and saying, what are we doing? What can we do better? How can we, in collaboration, make it better? So this is what basically this is, Jose, is what I kind of thought about it, is just making sure that we're, as a community, keep it in sync, making sure we're talking to each other in a very direct way and capturing that, and then making some game plans on how we can improve that and make it better. And so I know Jose and Sebastian and George are all working trying to make it better. I'm also passionate about myself, so we should join those efforts and make sure that we're trying to capture those and make it better, so other folks who come along are going to benefit from that themselves.
Okay, can you make sure that the document is set to write for everyone in case people want to go ahead and start adding notes or?
I believe for the link that anyone who has a link
Okay.
can
I just
edit.
want to make
Yes.
sure that no
Yep,
one's
I did
stuck
confirm
in
that.
read-only mode where they shouldn't be.
Yep, good thing. Anyone who has a link can edit. So if you have a link, you obviously are able to get into the document, and therefore you can edit.
Okay, and like I said before we started, if you see me mute and furiously typing, that's because I'm trying to write down what you're saying.
No,
Go ahead.
we brought a lot of things here.
Yeah,
So-
that's good. This is awesome.
Right.
This is great.
Let's jump in then.
Yeah.
Just a quick mention that if you're watching this video after the session, like if it's not live, you will be able to find the link for the document we're mentioning in the description in the YouTube video.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and we should read them all off as well so people can follow along. So before we get into these bullets, do you have a general, like, is it saving you time? Is it in the middle? Is it costing you time? Like, generally speaking, scale of 1 to 10, how are we doing here? And be honest.
Okay, so now we have this what we call the cost of innovation. So we have this cost now. We have this time that we are expending more than we estimated to do some things like deploying Drupal and other things, because we don't know all the problems that the tool has now in the local environment, like every day, you know. So we are struggling with some problems, like for example, when you work with other Ubuntu distributions, you can install or is installing. You know, we have these problems too, but we have a difficulty to develop and understand the progress of the charm development, because you know you have to develop, then deploy it, then test. So a little expensive. But we know that Juju is going to help us a lot. It's already helping in a lot of ways, but we are still the mountain.
Okay.
All right.
Do you have some examples of the issues you ran into, or just some, like, for examples, like maybe it's not specific, but for example, having the charm in the local environment version be cached didn't help, or what can you give us some general examples of those that were some of your major issues initially?
Okay, the major issue for us is that the Drupal charm that we use is not quite related with all the other services that we want to use, like for example, or MongoDB or I don't know, Varnish, because when you work with something like WordPress or Drupal, you have this peculiarity that you have to configure the Varnish in a proper way to work with Drupal, for example. So that division of responsibilities is a little confused for us, because we don't know if we have to make a subordinate charm, or we can actually go and run another Ansible, I don't know, another charm that is customized for us. We don't believe that. We believe that the charm has to be totally agnostic. We can configure the charm passing configurations and everything, or we can work with subordinated charms. for our projects. So it's like one subordinated charm that is for the project and is going to connect with all other charms. But that's not quite clear for us. And there are other things like, for example, scaling. We don't know if NFS is the better way to go. Maybe we can use other services like Ceph and other or Swift. I don't know, other kind of storage, distributed storage.
When you say agnostic, are you talking about in general having a relation that is not a specific relation to like Ceph, but a general block storage relation? Or
Yeah, like a MySQL knows how to do things for MySQL and not for others. Not for others like Drupal, for example. You don't have this charm of MySQL customized for Drupal. That's what I meant. We were trying to make all the charms really agnostic. So
yeah,
when you make this relation with other charm, the other charm just knows the type of the relation, and it's not another charm that is customized for the other charm.
yeah, like you wouldn't want a specific Drupal MySQL charm. You just
So
want
you like
a
to see
general MySQL charm.
more generic.
Yeah, exactly. We want one MySQL charm.
Agreed. And which one are you running into this where you're seeing that the charm is actually very customized for the
Varnish
application?
and Apache Solr, for example.
Varnish and Apache Solr. Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
for example, Drupal has to pass the configurations to the Apache Solr in order to work right. So, for example, schema configurations for the cores. So this kind of configurations, we need to go enter and make ourselves and everything. But we thought also that can be a little conflict, because when you run the config change, it's going to change a lot of their configurations. And if that configuration is running into one file that you are also modifying for your customizing application, is going to conflict. And that's a problem that we didn't resolve yet.
Okay.
Okay.
I think a lot of that in the document,
Okay.
because
All right.
we are using Ansible, so each process like config change and everything is going to check everything, and if you go and customize one little thing, it's going to fail. I don't know.
Okay, all right, let's go through each of the individual ones then here. So, development process is difficult and slow. We've been doing development of the charm into the deployed machine, accessing directly varlib, juju agents, blah, 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 /charm. So you can retry and debug, not needing to use a debug hook command. This is my most annoying command ever. That you have to debug hooks, but then you have to open another terminal, right? And then you have to, like, rev it, and then you go back, and then you fix the one hook, but then you still have to go through all the other hooks for.
Yeah.
So I've written about how this is like horrible for me. What would you want to see? Like, let's just pretend that you.
Yeah.
Like give me like pseudo commands of what you think that would look like ideally, like.
Okay, to resolve that, let's see. To resolve that particularly, let's see. Okay. To resolve that, I think we can do something like, we are developing the charm. That could be a state of the charm. So we can do other approaches, like for example, no caching the charm into the machine. Yeah, we could use another thing like linking, or I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
So,
And you want the charm to be on your local disk though, not in the unit.
yes, yes, yeah, because it's not fun to develop into the
I
unit.
don't want to go into the unit.
Exactly.
A quick question: what version of Juju are you using right now? That is
1.20.
1.18.
20. No, yeah, 20. 20.
Yeah,
120.
120.
Okay.
And is this on 1204 or 1404?
It's excuse me.
Precise or trusty?
Trust you.
Trusty
But the
client.
charm that we develop is in precise now.
Okay.
So we can upgrade it.
Gotcha. So your client's trusty,
Got it.
and
Okay.
your units are actual precises.
Yes.
Cool.
And in
Okay.
some cases, it's like elementary OS.
For your client?
Yeah. Yeah, we are using almost always like Juju local for now. We are
Okay.
not actually deploying yet because we don't have. We are still trying to install OpenStack in one machine. It's a long way to. We know we were working with the Ubuntu solution guys, and they were awesome. Doing that job, making the OpenStack being deployed locally. We
Okay.
have KVM and LXC, but it's not quite usable right now for a remote server. So we are
Okay.
using Juju local.
Okay, all right. So I could say that you're not deploying to a real cloud yet. You're just doing
No,
it.
not yet.
That's fine. Okay, so no caching. The charm should be on local client disk, not
Yes.
to be edited. I don't want to have to go into the unit. So it's like Vagrant, right?
Yes.
And then how would you want? So let's say you deploy and you have a typo in your install hook. What would that workflow look like to you?
So when we have a bug, I didn't understand the question.
Sure. So let's say, all right. So you write your charm. I'm just writing them
Okay.
down in steps here, right? You deploy charm to local provider. It's broken.
Okay.
Next step.
Okay. It's broken. So you're going to edit you're going to edit the hook. In our case, we are using Ansible, but
Okay.
but for others like Bash or I don't know, we are going to make the changes and run it again, like resolve it, retry.
Okay.
So you're
edit the
running the
hook.
changes. Sorry, go ahead, George.
Sure. Edit the hook on your laptop, right? Not in the instance.
No.
And then Juju resolve retry.
Retry.
Okay, so how can we make those steps better for you? That's really what I'm asking. That's what you're doing now, right?
Yes. Yes. What we are doing now is going into the because here's the thing. We have this repository with the charm and everything versioned, right? So when I do these changes in the charm in the unit, it's not versioned. So you have to do it twice.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
You have to go there, make the changes, then go back and put it in code in the actually repository. So that's really annoying.
Twice.
Because there are some times that you forgot that you make this little change. And then when you run it all over again, it's making an error. Oh man, I resolved that.
Right. So what you want to do is basically edit it on your disk, commit, then resolve retry?
Yes. No,
Okay.
not actually commit. You know,
Okay.
like the version because we do something like local 2 points precise dash or no
Yeah.
dash Drupal. So actually, that charm that is going to be deployed is already versioned. So that being said, we will like that if I change there and I make the resolve try, it's going to should pick up all the changes. It's not like I commit here, then I go
Pick up the changes in real time. Let's just say
yeah.
that.
Yes.
Probably something like if you deployed like from a local repository, if you added the local, the repository flag, and it notices that you're using a local repository, then it should check for a bizarre branch or something.
Yes.
Like
something like that.
you should develop charms inside inside a local bizarre branch, not a remote bizarre branch. Probably a local bizarre branch will enable you to do this. So if you're doing a resolve retry and you initially deployed with a repository flag and it's a local path, then it should do something like a bizarre pull, and that should take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
something like that.
Alan Bailey points out that while VirtualBox has NFS mounting, that's what Vagrant does. When we're using LXC, that container, that charm is on disk already for you. All we need to do is make a stupid symlink or something, right?
Yeah, that's what we are doing now.
Right. But you're doing that by hand, and that sucks.
Yeah, by hand, exactly.
Right. So we should just auto-generate like Vagrant does, right? And I keep saying just like Vagrant, right? But in addition to that, I think disabling caching, right? And kind of making it obvious, make it clear in the documentation workplace-wise that if you're going to use local provider, here's how you're going to do it. Okay, you're going to grab this charm. It's going to make a symlink that takes you to the charm. Doesn't matter. Just open this in whatever your text editor. Not Vim for you guys, I guess. Edit that on the spot, and then when you save, when you hit resolve retry, it's just automatic. You don't have to do anything. That's what you want, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so as soon as you hit save and you hit resolve retry, is that the command? Is that what you want the command to look like? Because Marco and I were talking about this yesterday a little bit, and we were thinking we should do juju resolved and then maybe hook name, so you can fire off individual hooks to see what happens.
Yeah. That's another thing that we miss it.
Yes. So I take it you do not like to step through all the hooks when you're done, right?
No.
I don't know anybody who likes that. Okay, excellent.
Because the development process is really different than the deploy process, you know.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
You have other needs.
Okay. Can you repeat what you just said again? I'm sorry, I was typing. Hello?
Okay, so something like that should help us a lot.
Okay, good. Because to me, I think the main problem is this bullet point right here is like 90% of your pain.
Yes,
would that be an accurate assessment? Okay, good. All right. I'm gonna make this a. This has been a priority for me, like in my head. It's like, man, we gotta. So I'm really glad that you got. It validates that I think I know that's what sucks the most. Okay, so that's good. Let's move on. I don't want to keep you all day. I don't want to.
One good comment on IRC. We do have debug hooks to give it a name, and Corey Fu had comment on that. Like I said, we should make that more pronounced in the docs. But Corey also had a point that if local dash map dash to remote charm is not an option, his preference or alternative would be juju resolve update and retry.
Yeah.
So I'll just put that in the notes there.
I have. Every time we think of a name, it comes on long. So I was just thinking juju kick, like go. You know, that's what I've been calling it in my head, just juju kick. But we'll think of something smarter than that. Okay, let's move on though, because I'm keen on not cranking up your time to innovation here. You guys don't like Vim, I get it. And Ansible Charm Helper is great, but the log isn't in real time. I'll go ahead and file that as a bug, if that's okay with you guys.
We were trying to resolve that here, but since we don't have this knowledge of and experience of Python, we didn't get that yet. But we know what's the problem. The problem is the sub process. The sub process that is created when the Ansible playbook is run. It didn't. The sub process isn't dumping all the log in real time. It's only like executing when it's finished. You know, like.
Yep.
So that's not nice for us.
Okay. You still have to figure out how to use Ansible roles, playbooks into charms.
Yes, and that's something we are working yet with that because.
Yeah, this would be. I'm going to leave a comment on this one.
Okay.
This would be a great blog post. Because we went through some of those same issues. I don't know, a lot of people are asking what's the right way to use Ansible. And I don't really have an answer for that right now, other than our one charm we're using it in.
We don't have that too, because
I think everyone's still kind of figuring that out.
It's a different way to think, I think Ansible is for something like an image of your server, and Juju is thinking like, oh, you can change this and you can change that in a real time. So you're going to make a lot of when is happening that, you're going to make that, but you have to remove the data that you are already deploying and making a backup.
Yeah.
So that's something that generally the other Ansible roles are not prepared to do that.
Yeah. Juju, you want Juju destroy service Drupal -- force. I know we have this for machine. Do we not have this for service?
I didn't saw in the manual.
Okay. I could have sworn we had this, but I'll double check on that one.
What would the force flag be for? Like, if a service is just stuck in an error state, then you could force and destroy it and just to stop it?
Yeah, because let's say that you are developing in the charm, right? And you have this bug and you resolve it, and that's okay. But you just want to destroy all the things because you already know where to fix it and the other stuff. So when you do this destroy service, Drupal, blah, 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 you're going to expect that the service is going to destroy and not executing all other the hooks. I know why it should happen that. It's okay for me, but it should be something like force, like, man, I don't give a, I just want to destroy the service.
Okay, I will. Right. I get that with machine as well. It's like, stop trying to outsmart me. I just want it to go away. Okay.
Yeah, and that's something interesting too. Like, for example, destroying the services, the service and the machine in the same at the same time.
I'm pretty sure if you destroy the machine, the service goes with it, but I'll double check on that.
No, it's going to say to you that there is a service assigned to him.
Not if you force though. That's why.
Okay, we get it.
Yeah,
nice.
That's why I always force.
Sebastian, what IDE are you guys using, if any?
Machine.
What idea? What?
What IDE?
Okay. Sublime.
Sublime. Okay.
I'll be happy to hear that.
And Atom.
That's right. We argue about Atom and Sublime all the time internally. That's all right. Atom guys knows what's up. There should be an option to delay or not even start the Juju agents with the machine. Why would you want this?
Sorry, where? Juju doesn't work on distributions. Okay.
Oh, sorry, I skipped one. Even when it's from, so is this trying to get the client to run in elementary OS or whatever?
Yes, or whatever other. Yeah, I think Hundreds can or the guys that are using elementary OS. I think Hundreds can explain that.
Yeah, it's actually when I tried to run it on elementary on the first time, he picked up that I was on a Luna precise machine. It was the message it was giving me. So I think that we should have some way to just tell, well, this is a precise.
Right.
Because it is precise based. The trick,
That seems like a simple one to me. I mean, the client's supposed to be run everywhere, so that seems pretty simple. I will.
Yeah, actually, it just reads the LSP release file. So I just tricked it with it, and it worked. It's working fine now. But I needed to trick it by changing the LSP release, then running the first time, and then everything was okay.
Okay. All right. So the next one I'm confused about: an option to delay or not even start the Juju agents with the machine. I'm confused. So what's the use case for this one?
Okay. There should be an option to delay or even not starting Juju agents. That's what you told us about, right? Like stopping, making.
Yeah. When I started using Juju here, at local, obviously, the second time I started working on the second day, I noticed that Juju agent was not running at the start of the machine. So I had to start the process by hand, and to not to do this every day, I put this on my init.d to it run every day like automatically. But I think sometimes I don't know to I don't want to Juju start every time. So sometimes I have to stop it to work with other stuff and save memory and process CPU.
I think we should talk a little bit more about our process, because we are using Juju at our local machines to provide a perfect environment for the project we are working right now. And we usually change from project to project, so we change from new topology. So right now we have like 3 different topologies, all provisioned by Juju and provided by Juju. But it would be good to just, like Vagrant, I want to up this topology and then bring it down, and then bring it up another one, and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I want all of them to start with my machine as well, because this is a heavy process.
Okay.
So something like, I don't know, like Juju stop, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Restart. And we know now how to do that. We only stop on the process, on the name of the process, but
Stop bundle name.
Yeah,
is great.
Yeah, or something like this environment. I want to just stop it.
Okay. And then related to that, the agents are not always running, and it's not always we want to be running?
Yes.
Okay. I thought the agent's supposed to be running all the time. That seems like a bug.
Yes, they are running all the time.
Right. Okay.
Well, I believe this is a bug a little bit more focused in the local provider, because in the cloud you wouldn't want the Juju agent running at all times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a bug more focused in the local provider itself.
Of course.
Of course, yes.
Okay, so not cloud.
Okay, you'd like to run multiple providers, and then Dave Cheney told you we support this, but I know Thumper has said multiple times we don't support this. So clearly that's important to you, so we need to sort this.
multiple providers.
Yeah.
So,
So we need to. That seems reasonable to me. We need to be able to support multiple local providers.
yes. No, we figured it out. We did some try, and for example, that's an example. That's a proof of concept that how it should work.
I see
But
it.
yeah, but we will we will like that the Juju manage all the ports for us, you know, and
Right,
not
right.
oh now I have to put another port for this.
So I'm looking. I'm looking at your thing in GitHub now. So basically, this is doing that. You just pick a different port.
Yes,
Okay. I'm like.
it's a proof of concept because if there are some problems with the if you add or change the order of the environment, it's going to break.
Okay. Okay. We should check that out. But either way, we have one person on court telling you we support this, and someone told me that we don't. So we should sort that. That's definitely
Okay.
not good.
So right now we can have this 3 or 4 environments locally.
This next bullet is kind of what you told us before. Let's say you have a Drupal project where it needs a specific configuration and a varnish deployed charm. What will be the better strategy?
Exactly.
Yeah. This seems like that'd be a good question for Marco. I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay.
All the Juju community have been real helpful. Thank you. Woohoo! All right. Next. Some charms don't work like they should. I think the reviewer team needs help. It's a lot of work. I 100% agree with you there. Do you have any charms specifically that are busted that you want us to take a look at?
Solar.
Apache Solar.
Solar?
Yeah, we tried to deploy locally this charm like some days ago, and it's working with Solar 3.6, but this version is not supported anymore. So the charm could download the package. So
Okay.
we had
So the charm is totally broken.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't change anything on the configuration, you cannot use the charm.
Right, right. Some charms are like that on purpose. They force you to set a thing, but still, we could do a better job with Solar there.
Real quick on the local question, are you guys actually going into your environments YAML file and changing a different local, like local-test, local-dev?
Yes.
Or okay, and that still doesn't work, correct?
Well, Juju, you have to have a different port for each.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, support conflict.
It's a lot more complicated than that. Yeah. I mean, it's something that's easily fixable. We just need to know that, someone out there is using multiple local providers. That'll force us to. Right, because before it was like one guy, it was like Michael Hall, and we're like, well, whatever. But if there are two people using
that you have this environment. Yeah, because imagine that you have this environment attached to this project, and you don't wanna have 3-4 MySQLs running
Right.
your machine.
Yeah. Yeah, and other environments you can have multiple ones, so that local provider should,
Yes, exactly.
Repositories could be more easy to manage. See this issue. Okay, looking.
Okay, so when we saw the local 2 points and the CS 2 points and something like that, we thought, oh, okay, so now I can register a repository, And this is local.
This is nice. I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. All right.
We were talking with Marco.
Right now, the quicker solution would be to add an alias to your bash RC file.
Yeah, but.
I recognize it. It's not the perfect solution, but something like set constraints would work.
Because I run this a lot, like say on the orange boxes, right? The repository's on the box. So whoever has to make sure that the environment variable is set. Every time we deploy a new one, someone has to edit the bash RC to ensure that the repository information is correct. I agree. It should be a totally. I mean, this seems like a reasonable request to me. I
Plus one.
will go champion that one for you because that one's pretty brilliant.
Nice.
And I see Marco likes it as well. So yes.
Okay. Next.
Yeah. Do you like Marco's proposal instead of a separate file? You could define it in your environment YAML.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Anything that's not what we have now is probably better for you. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, definitely.
Would be great if the Charm Store uses GitHub too. Yes, we are working on. Full,
Please.
I know. We're working on full GitHub sync.
Nice.
Now there is a Juju plugin called. This is what I use. Are you familiar with the Juju plugins project? But you could do Juju git deploy.
Git bug.
Sorry. That does work.
Okay.
And
Nice.
the charms that are in the store get synced to GitHub every hour. So if you want to run pure GitHub, get the git deploy plugins. It's just in github.com/juju/plugins. There's a bunch of convenience plugins in there that might be useful for you as well. Like Juju Clean will clean up the local provider and stuff like that.
And the important note there is that only charms that are reviewed and promulgated to the charm store are the ones that are mirrored in GitHub.
Right.
Okay.
But if you have your own charm work that you're pushing to GitHub, you could just change that URL to be whatever, and that'll work. So that's good to know that you want that.
So we were thinking something like npm does for Node.js. So you have this registry, but you can registry another let's say a charm that is in a Git repository.
Yep, I agree. All right, so I have to leave for another meeting here, so let's just finish this up here. In order to access file, let's say Drupal, you'll have to install a Vagrant plugin. Do you guys know if that's packaged for Ubuntu? That plugin?
I didn't get the question.
This Vagrant plugin for NFS Guest or SSHFS.
Okay, so here's the thing. There are some machines here that are running in another OS,
Okay.
like macOS and other stuff. And so we are using Vagrant with VirtualBox, right?
Okay.
So this is another level of virtualization now. So we are putting another tools into the complexity process that we have now. So so you have to mount specifically that directory in order to change it. In order to change in your IDE that it's in your
Right.
host. That in this case is macOS. But it's not quite right. It's not working like it should. So I think we could guide more our users to know how to deal with that.
Right, right.
So we could say, oh, you can use this or SSH FS or NFS, that kind of stuff, because we have to use NFS guest because it's different than the sync that Vagrant does by default, because it's inverted. The code is not in the host; it's in the guest. So it's from the guest to the host.
Okay. And then that moves on to some Mac OS 10 issues you guys are having with your shuttle and stuff. We have a guy coming on board who's going to be fixing our Mac workflow. So
Oh, nice.
make that.
We could talk a lot more about the Vagrant and how we.
Okay, that is excellent then. And he knows Vagrant very well, so we'll
Nice.
we'll tighten up this entire experience.
One quick
Nice.
question on
Yeah,
your
because
vagrant work.
sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Because Shoto and the other like IP tables, rules, and then this kind of thing is not working for us. I think we could work more with the network interfaces and making bridges.
Right. Yeah, we can make that really nice. Now on Linux, shuttles,
Yes.
fantastic.
Are you using vagrant? Are you keeping your charm repository, the charms that you're actually developing on inside the Vagrant workflow? Are you keeping those in the same directory that you're instantiating Vagrant from, as in the shared directory, or are you keeping your charms outside of that directory?
We are keeping in the host. It's in the host. It's in the.
Oh, it's
It's
only
in
in the host, so in the Vagrant itself, so in the Vagrant image itself.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
No. It's synced with a directory in the host.
Right.
So
Want to be able to do with the LXC container.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what directory you're coming from, because right, Vagrant itself, once you instantiate Vagrant from the a given directory, that directory is then shared between the Vagrant image itself and the Mac OS 10 directory. Is there,
O repositório dentro da
Ah.
raiz do Vagrant.
Ah.
Já é
No. We're mounting another directory with the synced directory default that Vagrant has. So yeah, the charm directory that we have to our local repository is in the host, and it's mounted with the default sync function feature that Vagrant has.
okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So we were talking a lot of other things, like using reverse proxy for like pointing only the domain to the IP of the Vagrant of the virtual box of the virtual machine, and then resolving internally and like something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we have this problem with VirtualBox and that, but that's VirtualBox problems. But it's nice to point that out.
So yeah, this is really great feedback. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and switch to another call. I'm going to start passing this around. So next week we're at a Juju sprint, and I'll be able to, at a minimum, get a bunch of this stuff on the agenda. So if we were to agree, probably your biggest problem is the first part with charm development, that workflow, right?
Yeah.
And
then we have this one too, that is that's for it's not a problem, but it's something that will really help us. Is for the Vagrant workflow.
Okay, that's not a problem. He starts in a week or two, so we should hopefully see some work going into that area to make that better. And then something I'd like to do is make the Vagrant workflow on Linux and OS 10 to be kind of the same, so that we alternate back and forth. And right now they're not the same, and that sucks.
Definitely. So we were talking something like remote, that we have this environment type local, but we don't have this remote. And
Right.
And in theory, we can make that work because Juju now has this API, and we have this guide of how to develop a provider for Juju. So
yeah, I think a Vagrant provider would be great. Ben Howard and I have wanted that for a while. So
yeah, but if we have this remote thing, it's going to resolve all the other things, because I can have this remote server in the cloud synced with my Juju client. in my macOS, and that can work too.
Right. So
The last thing is the DNS resolving thing. That could be really nice feature.
that is a brilliant idea. I feel stupid for not thinking of that before. That just makes total sense, right? Just name the host name Drupal dev.unit number or something. That would be that would really help. First of all, you'd be able to keep track of what machine you're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're using debug hooks, it kind of all looks the same.
Yeah.
So everything about that idea is good. I'm definitely going to bring that one forward.
We have a DNS as a service charm that you can hook up. The Metaswitch folks actually demoed this at one of the telco conferences. I'll drop the link in here so you can take a look at it.
Oh yeah, please.
So we'll change the DNS of the machine names based on the.
Yes, I believe so.
Wow. So yay, we have that. Okay, cool.
Cool.
But I'm gonna drop to this other meeting. I will definitely get you guys shirts. I just had to have someone who lives in Brazil meet me in another country. We'll get you shirts and swag and send it your way. Thanks very much for this feedback. We've been dying to get feedback like this for a long time, and then just keep on posting to the mailing list, and then we'll file bugs on stuff, and we'll get stuff fixed. The more you use it, the more we'll fix it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I appreciate you taking the time. Just reiterating what George said. Appreciate you taking the time to actually document this. It's one thing to say you have an issue, it's another thing to document it and share it, and then work with us to be able to try to improve it for everyone. So much appreciated there.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
For the awesome work that you have done.
We're excited about it. It's your work too out there too.
There's other feedbacks for the Juju GUI, but that's another.
All right. Well, let's work to get that scheduled in. I will work with the GUI folks. They'll be at a sprint next week too, but I will work with them to try to bring some of their devs in so we can be able to have this same type session.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great. Great. Well, we appreciate your time and effort on it. We'll see you on the list and keep the feedback coming and keep the contributions coming to the charms, and we'll talk there.
Okay then. Thank you very much.
Sebastian.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jose.
Bye-bye, Jose.
Oh.
Ciao.
Thanks for all the other folks over there that are off camera that I think I saw. All right.